Hey guys and welcome to another video about God is a Victory, NIKKE. They just recently dropped the patch notes for the upcoming update on January 12, so today I'm going over the most important things included in this update and explain to you how it affects your progress and experience in the game. If you want to see the full patch notes, I will be sure to leave a link in the description below, and with that being said, let's jump right in. First and foremost, we will be getting new chapters in the campaign. They will be adding Chapter 19, A Paradise for Imperious Survivors, and Chapter 20, A Crimson Dragon Takes Flight. This is important because there are two major characters that are included in the new chapters, that being Nihilister and Liberaglio. The two of them are Pilgrim units, they already have very polished in-game animations, and they also have their boss forms that you will most likely encounter in the campaign. Dorothy is another Pilgrim unit that might also be included in the later chapters, but I'm not 100% sure about her yet. I'm bringing this up because I know a lot of you will be skipping most of the upcoming banners. So if you are someone who is a bit tight on resources, Nihilister and Liberaglio might be one of the characters that you can consider saving for. I also feel like at least one of them will be released soon, because if you look at how they are releasing characters, it kind of follows the same order of when they first appeared in the story, with one or two characters in between, so definitely keep an eye out for more information about these characters. One more big addition coming with this update is the new liberation system. I talked about this in detail in my previous videos, but to give you a quick rundown, everyone is basically getting one free SSR every 60 days and only 30 days if you refresh the daily missions from the liberation system. Once you get any of them, you can max limit break the character by purchasing their spare bodies from the Union shop. If you want to know more about how this new system works, or you want to know more about the characters that you can get, I will be leaving links in the description to my videos, and maybe I will put up a card at the corner of the screen. Moving on, we will also be getting new stages in the Lost Sector. They did not specify what we can get from this, but if you ask me, we might be getting more standard recruit vouchers, upgrade materials for existing Harmony cubes, or maybe even a new type of Harmony cube. But regardless, this is very helpful, especially if you already completed the later stages of the campaign, because that will most likely be the requirement to unlock these new stages. Additionally, they will be starting the The Outsider event, which will basically be the standard event that we usually have, but with a different story. And we will also be getting more login bonuses for a week straight. On top of that, there will be a new co-op event featuring the new boss Nihilister. These are usually enjoyable and provide us with more resources, so it's always nice to have. I will be skipping over the new packages and the new cinematics for the chapter stages, because it's probably better for you to take a look at it yourself in the game. But for the live wallpapers, we do have a few of them that were data mined, so I will probably have that on the screen. We only have a few samples here, but I would imagine that the ones for other characters will look really good, especially ones for Rupee, Isabel, and Uni. You will be able to get the character's live wallpaper after you get them to max limit break, which means 3 stars on the character. Aside from that, there are quite a few in-game improvements, so feel free to pause and take a look at that if you want to. But the main things I want to highlight are the built-in landscape mode and the new skill on installers. The new landscape mode feature is really good because this will let you see the whole stage better on mobile. This also means that you no longer have to rely on the screen rotation app to play landscape mode. This is a huge change, and hopefully the user interface looks really good for both mobile and PC. And for the next one, we have the skill on installers. I briefly mentioned this in my last video before it was even announced, but essentially, this will probably be one of the most valuable items in the game. Depending on how much or how hard it is to get, this has the potential to save you a ton of resources because you don't have to spread out all of your skill upgrade materials across many characters. They will be giving us 3 of these for free, because they made changes to some of the characters, which is kind of a pretty significant change. And speaking of that, we will now go over the character changes that will be implemented after this update. The change is for the max HP buff that is currently bugged. This will be affecting a lot of characters, but mainly Noise. A lot of you probably know that Noise is super broken in both PvP and PvE because she can constantly heal using her normal attacks. The change they made is a bit complicated, but essentially, every time a unit gets the max HP buff from any skill, their current HP will only be increased when the maximum HP is increased, meaning that they have to lose the HP buff before they gain the buffs or other benefits of the increased current HP effect. In short, their current HP will only be increased every time the buff is applied, but not when the buff duration is refreshed. This means that Noise will drop down a little bit on the tier list, especially for PvP. I can still see her being viable in PvE, but with a few caveats and depending on what the new results are in practice. The other characters affected by this change are Folkwang, Rapunzel, Freema, and Soldier FA. Rapunzel's buff durations from her skill 1 were reduced by 5 seconds, from 20 seconds down to 15. This will now match the skill cooldown, so nothing too significant will affect her kit. For both Folkwang and Freema, their max HP buff will now work as intended after the update, because currently Folkwang's skill 2 and Freema's skill 2 don't affect their HP. I don't really consider these to be a buff or a nerf because they're making it so that things work as intended, so it's more like a fix if you ask me. There are more changes to a few characters which we will briefly go over, and these are the ones that I really consider to be a buff. First up, Noise will be getting a buff for her skill 2. The max HP increase will be buffed from 15.16% to 24.86%, but in return, the duration was decreased to 1.8 seconds, which was originally 5 seconds. I'm still not sure how this will affect her kit, but I'm pretty confident about this because the HP increase buff is pretty big. Next up, we have the changes for Noah's skill 2 and Burst. For her skill 2, the attack reduction scaling was increased to 13.25%, which is almost double of what she previously had. But I still doubt that this will make much of a difference in her kit. Her burst was also buffed, making her defense increase 133% at level 10 instead of 99%. This is also not too big of a change just because of how the defense percent works in NIKKE. Hopefully I can make a video about that soon because that's something very important to know about. And lastly, they also slightly buffed Diesel. Her skill 1 will now increase defense by 25.92% instead of 22.04%. On top of her recovery rate being increased from 11.02% to 12.96%. So yeah, that's pretty much every major change that will be implemented in the next update. There are still a few more bug fixes and game issues that were addressed, so if you want to check that out, I will have the links in the description below. Overall, I would consider this to be one of the biggest updates yet. They are addressing a lot of the game issues that we have, on top of the different and the exciting events that we're getting. Do let me know how you feel about this upcoming update, and which content are you excited for the most. As always, if you found this video useful, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.